What's up, guys? It's time for the second half of the semifinals here for the GSL Code S. I'm Taste with me as Artosis, but before we start our show, go subscribe to the GSL YouTube channel. GOMTV YouTube channel.
That's right. Definitely check that out. If it hits 100,000 subscribers by the 21st of March, which is coming right up, then the VODs for next season go on YouTube for free and all that cool stuff. So
yeah, so don't miss out.
Yeah.
So before our games, yeah, just go ahead and subscribe to that. Today is going to be a very good day.
Indeed it is. Today is the second half of the round of 4. Who will face against Parting in the finals? Will it be Life or will it be herO? Either way, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm fine with either of these two players moving on. I think Parting versus Life would be insane, especially the viewers. Yeah. But I would be totally fine with Parting versus herO as well.
Yeah, Parting versus herO, though, the only problem I have with that is that Parting loves to proxygate and herO always loses to it. So I'm like, that's kind of already mapped out how that happens. So I'm kind of...
Well, maybe they'll both proxygate each other and we'll have a very weird match.
Yeah. Parting generally wins those two, though, because his micro's better than basically everyone. So I don't know. I think Life versus Parting is probably the finals a lot of people want to see, but being a Protoss player, I can't deny how much I love PvP.
Yeah, also, if you have the chance and you're watching at home, you can always come to our studio. Entries free. We got lots of giveaways, lots of prizes, and you can see the pro gamers and meet us in person as well.
That's right. It's a lot of fun to come down here. It's starting to fill up a little bit.
Takes a little bit.
Yeah,
not as crazy as the last semifinals we had.
Yeah, that one was
the other half,
really
I should say.
packed. Well, I mean, that's quite a match. So, you know, Parting and MMA both having so many fans. A crazy season that we've had so far, though.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic season. Unlike previous years that we've had here at the GSL, all the Korean players have basically come back, which is making this GSL by far the most competitive GSL that we've ever had. So that's really exciting. We have 3 seasons a year. This is our first season. And I think this is going to be a fantastic finals, a fantastic semifinals. The last one we saw with Parting was already great.
Yeah. It was really impressive by Parting, really, the other semifinals against MMA. If you missed that, you might want to check it out, just see how well Parting was playing, because he just stomped MMA.
It was crazy.
Like, really, really stomped.
Smashed MMA.
Yeah. Like, broke all his bones stomped.
Broke all his fingers were all pointing all weird, like branches on a dead tree or something.
That's what it looked like during the match, at least. And as you can see, a 4-1 score there. That was a really quick day at GSL. Hopefully today is going to go longer. I really would like to see this go to 7 games, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would like to see a closer match here. But look, Life herO, these guys are both very good. I think that this is definitely a match that should be much closer than the one we saw before.
Yeah, I think so. And this is the best Protoss in the world going against
While
best
we were doing that, I was signaling to Artosis. I was like, I need Kleenex. Do you have any Kleenex? And he looked at me and he passed a bag of almonds. Trying to imagine blowing my nose into this bag of almonds.
What I signaled was you putting 1 almond in each nose.
Oh, so
the funny things we do when the camera's not on.
Yeah, man.
But anyways, tonight is like actually much better than MMA Party. Like MMA Party is like this kind of dream, like fan fiction stuff. But this is the fan non-fiction. It's the best Zerg against the best Protoss.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. And I'm sure people are, well, just one IEM. Like, Zess isn't in GSL next season, guys. herO's the best Protoss right now, and he's going up against Life. And that is sick, because herO has the best PvZ as well.
I love that voice you make. Can
you like that one?
Wait, can you do that again?
That's just one IEM World Finals. He's the best Protoss. Even beating
Okay, now do a Flash fan voice.
Oh my God, I can't.
Flash! So we're going to be bringing the players out here shortly, getting an interview with them, and see what their thoughts are before they go into this match. I'm assuming both are probably very confident, but before we do that, let's see the road to how they got here.
Show me
Okay, real quick before that starts, Life kissing that trophy there was hilarious. His lips did not pucker at all. It was like when my baby learned to kiss when she was 1 year old.
Now on to the interview.
바로 오늘 4강 2강전에서 가려지는데요. 자, 이승현 선수와 김준호 선수 두 선수가 맞붙습니다. 이 두 선수와 만나보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
So let's meet our two players. Hello, hello.
안녕하세요.
네, 자, 두 분 모두 조금은 누런 것 같은데요. 자, 두 선수 모두 IEM 월드 챔피언십 직후에 이렇게
both
경기에
players
나서게 됐습니다.
have
컨디션
participated
굉장히
in IEM
궁금한데
in the IEM World
이승현 선수
Championships.
어떠세요?
저는
So I want to ask how your condition is today. Life, you go first.
때보다 컨디션이 더 좋아서
오,
좀 느낌이 좋아요.
I feel pretty good actually.
좋다, 이렇게 말씀하시는데
I'd say I'm in top condition, even better than normal.
네.
He says, "How about you, Hero? How do you feel?"
살찌긴 했는데 게임적인 부분에서
I felt like I haven't had enough sleep.
네, 문제 없다.
But when it comes to playing a
이렇게 두
game
선수
under
모두
conditions like this, I'll be
컨디션에
fine.
문제는 없는 것 같습니다. 자, 두 선수 모두 이 IEM에서 참 아쉬운 결과가 나왔죠. 그만큼 GSL에서 필승 의지가 남다른 것
both players were
같은데
eliminated in the early
이승현
stages
선수,
of IEM.
오늘 어떤 각오로 오셨어요?
Maybe this will be your motivation to win here tonight. Life, your thoughts?
편하게 좋네요.
네.
네, 자, 김준호 선수 오늘
Says, I don't know, I'm
필승
just gonna
각오
play
가지고
comfortably.
계시죠?
And what about you, Hero?
일단 저는 이사기를 차단해야 될 것 같아서 갈 길이
네.
멀어서 오늘은
Well,
무조건 이겨야
firstly,
될 것 같아요.
I have some payback here. I want to dish out to party.
말씀하셨는데 말씀대로 현재 이 결승의 주인공 원희삭 선수가 굉장히 푸푸전에 대한 자신감을 드러내고 있습니다. 김준호 선수가 올라오면 무조건
So Party
우승이다
made it to the
말씀하셨는데
finals first.
그거에 대한 생각
And
자세히
Party said
들어볼게요.
that
상대가
he had a
굉장히
lot of
푸푸전
confidence in
자신
PvP,
있어하세요.
obviously talking about
제
you.
인터뷰를 보고 이렇게 말하는 건데
And he said he wasn't worried to face you. How do you
그
feel?
실력으로 왜 그런 자신감이 있는지
Yeah, I watched
모르겠고
that.
네.
And I watched
그래서
Party's
그거 보고
interview.
지금
I'm not so
경기
sure why he has that
보여가지고
kind of
네.
오늘
confidence.
경기도 좀 불타오르고 있어요.
네, 꼭 결승에
He's not even
올라가고
actually
싶다는
better than
의지가
me.
느껴지는데요. 자, 이승현 선수.
It actually gave me a huge motivation. I want to crush him.
굉장히 이승현 선수를 잡고 싶어 할 것 같고 원희삭 선수도 2012년 블리자드컵 복수를 하겠다 이렇게 말씀을 했습니다. 굉장히 복수하고 싶으신
Life,
분들이
you know that
많은 것
Party said
같아요.
that
어떠세요?
he wanted to get revenge on you about the 2012 BlizzCon. The BlizzCon Cup.
결승만 올라가면
That's a long grudge.
스타일이라서
2012.
네, 두 선수 모두
Well,
오늘 경기만
I'm not afraid of
이기면
Party
무난하게
personally.
승리를 생각하고 계신 것 같은데
If I make it to the
그럼 오늘
finals,
상대에 대한
I think it's going to be an easier game than
이승현 선수,
this
김준호
match against
선수
Hero will be
어떠세요?
today.
일단 제가 토스 중에
Anything you want to say about your opponent, Life?
정말 잘한다고 생각해서
네.
연습도 정말 많이 해요.
Honestly, amongst Protoss players,
그래서
Hero is top tier.
네, 연습을 많이
I have a lot of
했다
respect for him.
말씀하셨습니다. 상대가 좀
And
꺼리는
his
상대로
skills.
꼽기도 했었는데 오늘 이승현 선수와 경기 어떨 것
It really
같으세요?
made me practice a lot. Hero, any response?
승현이 스타일이 너무 무서워요.
스타일이
네, 그래서 스타일이 무서워서 좀 꼼꼼히 해야
I'm
될 것
mostly scared about
같고
Life's play style.
여건이 똑같다 보니까 저도 그냥
I cannot let my
편하게
guard down
임하려고
for a
하고
second.
있어요.
네, 어쩌면 두 분이 굉장히 서로가 좀 같은 마음도
So
느껴지고
I'm
저
just going to
선수도
empty my
많이
mind, go into the game,
힘들겠구나
and play
이런
without any
비슷한 감정도
reservation.
느낄 것 같은데요. 오늘 경기 시작하기 전에 이 두 선수 서로에게 크게 힘이 되는 한마디씩 나눠보도록 하겠습니다.
So before we
자,
start our
가장 먼저
matches,
김준호 선수가
Any
이번에 먼저
final words
해볼까요?
that you have to say to each other? Here you go
비행기도
first.
장시간 타고 많이 힘들 것 같은데 오늘
So this was a
빨리 집에
long
가서
trip
쉬게
back from IEM.
네, 4대0 생각하고
And you had
계시나
a long
봐요.
trip too.
자, 이승현
let's finish
선수
quickly so we can go
대답
home.
들어보겠습니다.
And getting rest up.
이길지는 모르겠지만 이기더라도 꼭 이사기 형만은 꼭 이기고 우승했으면 좋겠어요.
I don't know who's going to make it to the finals, but whoever
우리
goes to the
누가
finals,
올라가도
let's get rid of that
원희삭
party
선수는
kid.
자, 이렇게 두 선수 서로에게 힘이 되는 한마디씩 들어봤는데요. 오늘 4강 2경기 이 두 선수의 데이터 확인해 보겠습니다.
And that does it for our interview. The players will now be sent to their soundproof booths, and we'll be starting this shortly.
That's pretty funny that Party wants revenge for something from 2012. I'm
Yeah.
like, really?
like,
Like, Tasteless, do you remember that game you DT rushed me in 2003? Yeah, this is
I would
why
like
I'm
to get
about to
revenge
throw you
for
off the
that-
balcony.
I would like to get revenge for that time you drank my chocolate milk in second grade.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's
so,
pretty funny, though.
So 2012 BlizzCon Cup revenge. All right.
Yeah, that's a great
Holding
storyline
a
for the
grudge for that.
finals. Like, guys, once upon a time there was this match we can't remember.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's like so funny.
Well, here's a little bit of information on the screen about our two players, Life and Hero. Personally, Artosis, who do you think is going to win this?
This one's so close, it's really hard to say. I am leaning towards herO winning this one. You know, if you saw him and Life actually play a full series in SSL, they played 2 series, 2 best-of-3s. herO crushed him in the first, and the second one, Life just all ended him every game in one. Like, just, like, mass circling. He's like, and herO's like, oh, you broke through my wall, and now I did. That type of thing, right? So when I look at that, I'm like, oh, if herO, like he even said, he's like, I just can't let my guard down at all. If he just, like, crosses every T and dots every single I. And
every single lowercase J.
Yeah, lowercase J's. He makes sure, you know, that when he's writing the number 1, that he's putting the little hat on it in the bottom so you don't think it's an L.
Yep.
You know, if this is the way that he plays this game.
When he makes a 0, puts a little slash in there.
Look, he runs it through spell checker. Okay, he uses a thesaurus. He makes sure his colons and semicolons are not mixed up. Checks for where the commas are supposed to go. Uses different starting words for sentences. If he does all that, I think he beats Life because his late game is better than Life's, in my opinion.
Okay. I'm actually thinking maybe Life takes this, but it should be very close. It'll have to depend, I think, ultimately to what herO was talking about, where herO was saying, I can't let my guard down for a second. If that does happen, that's usually when Life sees that weakness, exploits it, and wins.
Yeah.
And a lot of players, when they're interviewed before playing Life, will say basically exactly that. Like, I can't let him catch me off guard, and I should be able to win, and he'll still do it. Life is tactically one of the best players in the game.
For sure.
He reminds me a lot of the old Brood War Zergs, these guys that were just really good with Zerglings. He'll always win an engagement out on an open field. If he doesn't have enough to kill you and you're moving out, he's going to counterattack. He's going to hit with mutas at the right angle, the right time.
He's very much like Jadon. He's like, he really is StarCraft 2's Jadon, closest thing that we have to it. His ultra decisiveness, his complete mixture of strategies, and his macro, you can tell he's really been working on it as well. Like, he was already like a full package Zerg just because his whole level's so high, but like his macro was by far lacking compared to his other skills, I think, which is like funny to say because his macro's still one of the best.
Yeah.
But he's working on that, I think, and that's a big deal.
You can see recently Life 5-5. Interesting to see he's been losing the herO Classic Reindeer there, although those are all very good players.
Yeah, those are, you know, all top.
If you're going to lose anybody in your top circle, those are the guys to lose to.
Yeah, certainly. Pretty excited though, man. This is.
By the way, we didn't get a chance to talk about it when the graphic was up, but Iron Fortress will be played last. So
we're not going to Game 7.
We probably won't see Iron Fortress again. Iron Fortress are a new map that none of the players want to play and veto out constantly.
We did see it. That was a one map MMA did beat Party on.
Yeah.
But
now, here's herO. This guy is all around solid.
Yeah, he's
really
like,
smart.
I think strategically, he's the best. I think he's his control is on par with all the other Protosses. His macro, absolutely on par with all the other Protosses. His game sense, like everything about him, he's the best Protoss right now. And I don't miss Protoss games, so
even Life was saying that, you know, herO is the highest level Protoss you can have here.
Yeah,
these guys both, by the way, just got back from IEM, which was in Poland. Huge event, by the way.
Yeah,
beautiful opening ceremony. I mean, all the games out there were fantastic. I was watching it in the last few days.
I have been pouring over those replays, man, like crazy. But, you know, Life did fall to Innovation 2-3, very nice series. herO did end up falling to teammate Byung, who was kind of on a heater down there, I guess.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't really look into that as measurements of their skill or where they're at right now. Like you're gonna lose some matches to the best players in the world, that's for sure. StarCraft is not a game that you can play perfectly. We're not watching Quake, fellas.
By the way, we will have to see how their condition actually is, because a long trip like that does take a lot out of you.
Yeah.
That is brutal. I don't know how honest they were being in the actual interviews. There was one situation where, you know, you don't want to say, oh, I'm feeling horrible, I'm tired, I hope I can play well. You might be trying to just intimidate your opponent. But yeah, a long trip like that, that's rough, man.
Yeah, it certainly can be, man. They should be a little bit tired. Life was saying he feels better than his normal. Is that true? Like, really? Is
well, how
he
does
trying
that
to
even
psych
make
out
sense?
herO?
Yeah.
herO's like, well, I don't know. I'm like a little bit tired, but, you know,
I've never felt better than normal after a long, you know, transcontinental flight.
Yeah, I don't know. So he might be trying to psych herO out a little bit, but herO's answer was completely real. It's like, I feel good enough to play. I am a little bit tired, of course, because I'm jet lagged, and that's the way the human body works. But
I like that sponsor there for CJ, Fat Down on the bottom right. All right, guys, we're starting our first match. It's a best of 7. The winner will go on to face off against Party here in the GSL Code S. In the upper right on the map that he picked to start off the series.
KT roster live.
Perfect map to pick for him. Wide open natural, hard to take third base. Aggressive Zergs fare very well on this map.
In the upper left, in the red.
CJ Entus herO.
A tough map for him to play on. With that wide open choke and a hard to take third, aggressive Zergs are going to be quite good against Protoss on this map.
You sum up everything, man.
Right? You like that?
Yeah, that's good.
I'm like, oh, this is very good for herO. Ooh, this is very bad for life. Like, oh, herO killed 7 drones. Oh no, life lost 7 drones. We should have a cast like that where we just say it from the other perspectives and like one of us
really
is
good for
excited
him, but it's really bad for his opponent.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how herO opens up on this map. This is not the best map in the world for him to start out on.
No, certainly not. But it should be a good series no matter what. Even if it's like a 5-0, it's good. Well, that would be really weird, right?
Yeah, right. I was gonna try to save you out of that one, but yeah, if it'd be a 4-0 even, it wouldn't be terrible. I think we were kind of talking about this earlier, but I don't care which of these two goes ahead because both the matches are going to be great.
Yeah, certainly.
They're going to face off against Party.
PvP is actually a fantastic matchup.
Really dynamic
And
matchup.
anyone who doesn't think so is a Zerg or a Terran or a Protoss that's frustrated.
Protoss who doesn't understand that matchup.
It is.
No, it is a great
I really
match.
like
I mean, it's one of the mirror matchups, so there's a lot of different builds you can do.
Yeah.
So many ways to approach the game. They can get you into these funny spots in the mid game and the late game, which also makes it fun too. It's not tight, so tight that it always has to end early.
To be honest, I really like all the matchups in StarCraft II except ZvZ.
I have some problems with ZvZ.
Sometimes I'll watch a ZvZ that I quite like, but overall that's a matchup I have the hardest time with.
Roach is a bit of a pain.
Yeah, Roach v. Roach is...
even to cast that sometimes. I'm like, okay, he's losing, and then they pan the screen down a little bit more. I'm like, well, never mind. Now that I see that angle, it's different.
But looks like just normal openings here. Looks like Life wants to get reasonably fast speed. It was a Nexus first very greedy build here by herO. Kind of taking a little bit of a gamble there. Life is definitely someone that could choose that map and do a quick pull on it. You know, like that's within Life's range. Everything, in fact, is within Life's range, so.
Well, here comes that probe now. Spots in here. And sees just when that pull finished. Wing speed starting now.
Yeah. Has a complete idea of what's going on. So, Tasteless, we haven't casted in a week, huh?
It's been a little while, hasn't it?
Yeah. How was your week? What did you do?
It was good, man. I mostly just chilled out.
Yeah?
Been reading the Sandman comic.
Yeah? How was
Fantastic comic.
Yeah.
Really
Does it put you to sleep?
You know what's weird? Actually, okay, I had this dream. You know, I always have these. I love telling you about these weird dreams I have.
I love it.
I had this
too.
dream that I was somewhere in
it.
America, okay, and it was I could tell it was sort of like Midwest. And I went up to somebody. I said, "What state are we in?" And the person said, "Well, how would you know what state are we in? Don't you live here?" And I said, "No, I'm from Korea, and I don't know how I got here because it's like one of these weird dreams."
Yeah.
What state am I in? And they said, Nebraska.
Nebraska. Wow.
And I said, "Okay." And then I woke up, and I'm like, "Nebraska's not a state. It's Nebraska." Yeah. That's my story.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know what that means either.
No, I don't know either.
Yeah.
I think you just misheard the man. I mean,
he just
obviously he knew where he lived.
He had the weirdest lisp ever.
Yeah.
Well, we got the Overlord being chased out now.
And we'll be seeing herO wall in right away. You know, with speed being finished up, you got to be very careful with that. And he walls with a robo, so kind of showing his hand. We'll see what he ends up doing with this. I would imagine it'll be like a Prism into a Mortal push, which is a good choice for the map. You can never really fault someone for that. But this is actually 2-base layer for Life. So doing like this like just really complicates it. This is where like I mentioned this. When did I mention this last? Like pretty recently on GSL, maybe 2 weeks ago. How a lot of these very top-end players, when the very absolute best players play against each other. In fact, I think it was Rogue versus herO? Yeah, Rogue versus herO, I believe, right? God, my brain. I've been watching way too much StarCraft last few days.
Yeah, you watch or cast as much. It all kind of blends together.
It's like it comes down so heavily to mind games that it's actually insane. Like right now, Life has gone 2-base layer, 3rd base with like 2 Zerglings. He has a layer right now. 2 Zerglings making his third base.
This isn't and macroed up pretty quick here.
And herO is going for Immortals, but he's getting Colossus tech.
The Roach explosion's happening.
Okay.
That Immortal definitely going to be really handy here.
Here's the question.
It's kind of funny that Life played it sort of like this on this map. I think this is sort of a meta way to approach this map because this is not the normal way that you're supposed to play Zerg on this. So Life is playing around this meta game concept in the hopes that this will get herO off rhythm. herO hasn't detected just yet exactly what's going on, although he should be knowing pretty soon here.
Yeah, he needs to figure out exactly like that there was a layer and the third is very late because he may not even attack this. He may actually make a third Nexus off of this.
Warping in units out of the gateways. We have 6 gateways, by the way, finishing here. So this is going to be a pretty strong attack. This is set up so that he shouldn't be expanding with this, but he might have to.
You know, based off of what he's seeing with that scouting hallucination Phoenix, I think he's going to make a third, to be honest. Like
he probably should.
You absolutely can all in from here. He has enough gates. He has 2 Immortals, but he doesn't really have that many sentries. His Colossus is a little bit slow to actually move out. So it's like it's very interesting though because there's a lot that both these players can do here. This is a very tricky situation.
He's going for burrow, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like it.
This is going to be interesting. We don't actually have an observer over his army, right? Do we?
No, he doesn't have one right now.
Well, that could be interesting, actually. If he pushes out and doesn't have the observer.
All right, it looks, based on that pylon, like he's probably just going to go for an attack. But burrow movement is going to be actually quite a nice answer to this. Like, against mass burrow movement roaches, you really need heavy Immortals.
Yeah, he's going to go for the push for sure with the Warp Prism coming up here. Again, though, still no observer. Burrow about halfway done. If he could just burrow under this and pop up,
it's crazy.
That would be huge.
Yeah, if he picks off sentries and stuff.
He's ready with a counterattack here with the roaches. I'm not sure how effective this is going to be.
I think all it needs to do right now is make him turn around. Like, if he turns around once, burrow and burrow movement are done.
You know what? He's not doing it. He backed up with the roaches. I think he wants to go for a flank.
Maybe. We'll see.
It's going to be very clear, by the way, when he starts to walk on that creep and the tumors aren't dying, that there's no observer here. Whoa, don't do that.
Very good point there. Life should be completely aware, and look at this.
A very delayed counterattack. Now, that observer just barely does get out, but hero's far away. This is actually going to be somewhat of a base trade situation. Burrow is done. He's going to go right up here. He can get the Cybernex Core if he wants. No, going to go for the Nexus instead. And herO making a right move here, too, is going to try to go up into the second base. That's going to be annoying. That observer is about halfway across the map, by the way.
This is really tough. Life is killing everything. And the thing is, herO's army is actually better than these roaches, but without any detection, what is he to do?
Well, no, there's an observer right over here.
Yeah, it's coming up. He's already lost 1 Colossus, though. That is an issue.
But he can escape the force fields, which is pretty handy. Is this Nexus? I can't believe it's still not dead yet. I guess he went for the probes for a second instead.
Yeah.
And now the second base is destroyed, so this is... herO's army is cut off. I think what he wants to do actually is kill this Nexus and then run all the way back with these roaches.
I think you're right about that. I think if he kills off all of the economy of his opponent, like, all he needs to do then, obviously, is kill this army off. And this little group of units is not going to do that.
Okay, here we go. Burrowing right up there to get that Colossus. Really nicely done. The 2 Immortals still remain, though. They're the real threat to the roaches. Drones tanking damage right now. Good remaining force fields here being cast off right now. Oh my God, the micro is so good with that Immortal in the Warp Prism. But he's running out of stuff to actually take this. I think Life has done it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
The remaining money, by the way, is warping in attacking units here. That's 4 Zealots that could have been 1 Nexus. Oh my God, that pro block was sick. But it might not matter. herO, no starting buildings here. He's just pulling drones. It's just a funny situation because Life, even though he has this weird third base right there, that's more than what Protoss has. That does it. GG. Nicely done there by Life. And Life winning on his own terms, mind you.
Indeed. Finding a way. Yeah, that was like a very interesting opening by Life. I think he was looking to be able to kill a build like that. And, you know, when you wall in with a Robo, especially on that map, it's kind of telling as to what your ideas are, even though recently we have seen some Protosses try stuff like that and then still take a third where they realize that, like, oh, this won't work, but I can defend very well with a couple of Immortals, a couple Colossus, right? So,
Well,
an interesting one to open.
Life so far has proven, even at the start of the series, that he's approaching this so well. Again, the build order that Life did is a bit antithetical to the way an ideal Zerg game would look.
Yeah.
But because he's playing outside of an ideal standard Zerg opening, Protoss is thrown off balance a little bit.
Yeah.
And I have to say, props to that insanely delayed counterattack. I was saying earlier when I saw the Roaches not go back that he wasn't counterattacking. He waited to the point of no return, which was pretty impressive.
We have
very
something
right
going
on here. Life actually leaving his booth.
Unless he had his Mothership Core with him, that Roach attack was going to do a ton of damage, whether you turned around or not, and the Mothership Core just wasn't there. Yes. So, I feel like that was probably a mistake as well. But, I mean, it was really good play by Life and very creative. hero's build not really that creative. We see stuff like that all the time, and he just didn't know how to deal with what Life was sending his way.
Good decision making to take out the two Nexuses and then head back.
Yeah.
Had he played a different game, it might have resulted in a win there for hero. Had he tried to split up the Roaches and start killing off pylons, taking out probes, stuff like that. No, take the two Nexuses out, because that means that immediately Protoss' income stops.
Yeah.
Protoss has to either make do with what he has, or try to win the game that way, or go back and defend. Now, when he takes the two Nexuses, there's no way to recall back home. So it was smart. And then he pulls his Roaches right out, maybe leaving one or two, just to make sure the Nexus can't be planted again, and goes right back with the remainder of that. It doesn't matter if Life ends the game with just one base in this obscure location, the third base out there. It's completely fine, because he still has a mining base, his opponent doesn't. That's all there is to it.
It's well said. I love this didgeridoo, by the way, in the background. But to actually mention something about hero's playstyle, he's actually one of the Protosses that everyone has noticed for a long time is extremely good at scouting. Like, he'll send a hallucinated Phoenix, figure out everything about what you're doing, and then counter. And here, that really wasn't the case. He didn't scout as much. He made far fewer sentries because of the build he was going for. But even when he scouted, he didn't realize that burrow movement was the thing, because if he had and maybe waited a little bit more, like if he had the observer with him when he moved out, the game might look different as well, to be honest. Like, the fact that he lost Colossus right off the bat for free,
that was bad.
You're doing a two-base all-in with two Colossus,
we
two
haven't
Immortal,
seen Roach Bro used as much, by the way. In PvZ, so that was pretty cool for Life to bring that out. That's one of those hybrid builds that works if you insert it just enough into the metagame and take it back out.
It's been popping up on the ladder for a little bit, and every now and then in pro play, and it is powerful, for sure.
It's time for game number 2. Life up with a 1-0 lead. Let's see if hero can balance this out, or if the lead continues here from